Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another reaction. Now, it's been a while since the Night City Wire episode 1. 2 surprisingly released today. I guess I don't follow them on Twitter or anything like that, so I don't get any notifications that this was happening. So I was actually really surprised. So, without further ado, let's see what more this game has in store for us. Let's go.
Gang, you don't believe in no fate. Every day taking a break. Step in the crib with a space. City of dreams, city of...
Let's start the damn thing. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Night City Wire. This is the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to be deep diving into Life Paths and showing you a brand new gameplay video, as well as having a chat to Philip from our quest team. Then we're going behind the scenes and taking a look at how Refused to bringing the band Samurai to life. And then we're showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. So let's get started. Street Kid, Nomad or Corpo? Which will you pick first?
Street Kid, Nomad, and what? Life pads. Oh. Nomad. Oh, Corpo.
Well, who do we have here? Grew up in Haywood. Whole street was my family. Neighbors helped each other out. Thought nothing of it.
I am pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Man, just
born
imagine,
here, live here,
even if
die.
just 3, right?
Childhood memories.
Think about it.
Hopping buildings, running away from
Things
badges.
can change just because of that.
Iron tasted
If
blood
you're
from the
corporate,
split
you're
lip.
gonna be able to like start somewhere high up, like high up in the world.
Got everybody fighting for a
Different
slice of the street.
personality, completely.
Get the fuck out of
people
this
you
town.
meet and
Keep
everything
getting
might be
jumped.
based on that.
Find some stronger chews.
So much opportunity just to like play a game and see all the different.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting scabs? Or become a legend overnight?
We have arrived. The Major.
Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
Cyberpunk, Nomad.
My childhood.
Rebellions, I
Let's
guess?
see. Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills. Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our family. A choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid as an old oak.
Like, I like it. Even like the gameplay elements
My
are
family's in
different.
pieces. That's why I'm headed for
Based
Night
on
City.
who you are and the equipment
Makes
that
you
you
an
have around you.
outcast among outcasts.
Looks like it. Looks like
Miss this, you know?
it. The outcast.
Camaraderie.
I know. I saw it in your heart the first time we met. You know what I always liked about nomads? Your taste, no, hunger for freedom. Not easy to come by in Night City. Corp's got their grubby claws and everything.
Man. Like, think about it. Oh, there you go, Corp. Evil.
I have those reports you asked for.
They were supposed to be ready
I
yesterday.
just said that. They're gonna start with somebody
The
higher
world's
up.
going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
That literally just
The
happened.
world's never going to find out.
If I go down, you're going down with me. No! I'm not
There
fucking
you go.
joking.
This
Corporate
isn't a
bullshit.
request,
Sorry. There
V.
you go.
But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other people's shit.
If you're working Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
Today, they got you to zero somebody.
This game needs
Tomorrow,
like a good
they'll get
PC
somebody else to zero you.
or a PS5 where, you know, like
the
an
rules,
Xbox.
Jack.
Like, turn
be
this
top.
console. You're not gonna have
Gotta
fun.
have some skin in the
At
game.
least that's what I think.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Saburo Arasaka is. And you're the pendejo who keeps him there. Work for yourself, live for yourself. That's the only way.
Whoa. Oh God. Finishing this game 3 times is gonna be
Philip, it is
too
so
much,
good to see you
too
again.
much
It's
gameplay.
actually been a while since I've had a chance to interview you about Cyberpunk. So I think for today we'll start with a question that everybody wants to know. How does the path you pick affect your time in Night City?
It actually affects your time quite a lot throughout the whole game, but let's start at the beginning, because basically our game has 3 different starts depending on your life path. As an example, if you choose the street kid life path, you have lived most of your time in Night City. You know the streets, you know the gangs, you know the slang, you kind of know what's going on in the, let's say, lower life aspects of the city, which can of course give you lots of good opportunities also later on in the game. But if you start as a nomad, you actually used to be part of a nomad clan and a nomad family, because nomads that roam the deserts around Night City that we call the Badlands actually value their family above anything. But for one reason or another, you actually left that family behind, and now the beginning of the game for you will actually be how to get into Night City and how to make a new life there. Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corporate life path. And that basically means that you're not at home in the streets of Night City or in the deserts of the Badlands, but actually inside the boardroom, because you rose the corporate ladder of the Arasaka Corporation.
That
which
is something I would love to
basically
play,
gives you the
actually,
ability
corpo.
to sometimes, read between the lines, read people when they're trying to do business, which of course can give you many nice opportunities later
There
on.
you go. Why?
So this
Because
isn't
you've
just
played
about
gangs,
the start
you
of
know,
the
another
game. Can you
played,
maybe
like, The
help people
Outsider, all that.
understand how this
I think as
translates
a
into the
corporate
gameplay?
would be something
Yeah,
very intriguing.
so the thing is, we make Cyberpunk a real RPG, and part of that is that you can play your character from the start to the end. And of course, we have these life paths affecting the beginning of the game, but we wanted to make it so you have your life path opportunities throughout the whole game until the game is over. And as an example, we do that by giving you additional options in dialogues. So I can give you one specific example. And this is a mission where you have to steal a flathead robot from the Maelstrom gang. Basically, those Maelstromers stole that flathead before from a corporate transport. And the owner of that corporate transport, Meredith Stout, wants you to do something else. And this is an optional objective. And even within that objective, we want to give you some options. So as an example, if you have a corporate life path, you basically know what Meredith Stout is really about. You can read between the lines and you can get some additional options that maybe actually later enable you to do a completely different thing with the Maelstrom gang. And if you're a nomad, you know exactly some more details about how these Maelstromers would have even been able to steal a robot like that from Meredith Stout, who's part of the very powerful Militech Corporation. As a street kid, we as an example don't give you a specific new dialogue option in that dialogue, because as a street kid, you do not have a lot of experience dealing with higher up people like Meredith Stout. But we want to give you additional options that fit your life path very well. So later when you actually talk to the Maelstrom gang, one member of the gang offers you some illegal substance, but as a street kid, you actually know what this is about. You can talk some shop with him, and that might actually make that character like you a little bit more.
So Philip, I do have a couple of extra questions for you based on the video we just saw. And the first is about nomads. So the nomad life path, this starts in a place called the Badlands. Is this somewhere you get to visit even if you don't pick nomad to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, Night City is surrounded by this huge landscape that we call the Badlands. And you can go there whenever you want. So as an example, if you actually do play the nomad life path at the start and you are in the Badlands, you can even see Night City on the horizon. And we want to give you the option later in the game, if you want, you can just take your car and drive out of the city. You can go there whenever you want. The thing is, you might not want to, because the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first, because time has not been very kind to the Badlands. There have been many wars in the past, there's global warming, so most people that do live out there don't really have another choice about it, or are nomads that love this life and are all about it and are very battle hardened. We of course also want to tell their stories, because we want to tell many different stories throughout the cyberpunk genre, which means that you will also find missions that lead you out in the Badlands, or where you deal with the people living there.
So Philip, can you tell us a little bit more about the character Padre? He's the guy we see giving his business card to Street Kid V in the video. Who is this man?
Yeah, so Padre is actually one of the fixers in Night City. And fixers are people that work as intermediaries. So if someone who has a lot of money needs a problem solved, they go to a fixer. And a fixer then finds people who can solve that problem. And these people are people like you, the cyberpunks. Fixers are very territorial. So Padre specifically works from Haywood, which is where you as a street kid grew up in, so you already know him. You might have already seen another one of our fixers who is called Dexter Deshawn, and he works in a different part of the city. So specifically Padre, you might know him as a street kid, but even if you played other life paths, you might sooner or later meet him because he's operating in Haywood, which is a pretty big place with many good jobs. So if you want to make some cash there, you will sooner or later deal with Padre.
That was the question in my
Philip,
head.
thank you so much for joining us. Now, on my first playthrough, pretty sure I'm going to be picking Nomad. But for those watching, we would love to know what you'll be picking. So have a think about it and send us a tweet.
I don't want it
Don't
to be
forget
like
that
RE2,
later in this
or the
episode,
remake,
we're going to be showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. But before that, let's talk about music, because music plays a huge part in bringing Night City to life. Now, in future episodes, we're going to talk about things like radio stations and even the original score. But today, we're going to take a look behind the scenes at how Refuse to bringing Johnny Silverhand's band, Samurai, to life.
I wouldn't write these lyrics for myself.
Man, imagine if you get like Ghost in the Shell and
so it's kind of interesting to get into like the mindset of who is this character and what was they writing
Oh boy,
what's their agenda.
I'm so in for all of that. Just getting those costumes
it's interesting
and running around
to try to like catch a language that's his and try to catch a language that's like part of this game.
And here comes hopefully I don't get a strike or anything. They're definitely going to claim this video.
There's a reason why we're here.
We've talked about life paths.
Piotr maybe who was a fan of the band. He knew Refuse and he knew my voice and he said, oh, that's a perfect voice for Johnny.
Like rock,
and that they wanted, I guess, a sound that was a bit
contemporary
from when Johnny's supposed to have had the band, because he's sort of like an anti-establishment kind of guy.
Gonna drag a corporal rat on stage, make him kneel, douse him with gas, then light him up.
So of course there are things that you can relate to, and like just like this outcast and this rebel that's fighting against like the corporals, and that's definitely something that's been a part of my life and a part of Refuse's life.
We came out of the punk rock scene of
if you're a corpo, you might go
he's
against
like the future version of us. You know?
Okay, that's gonna be
so I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense for
John
us
Wick
to be here making these songs about him or for him. You know? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No trills. But yeah, but like wide vibrato.
And then, I mean, just sort of build, I mean, slowly build sort of intensity.
We don't have a different mode than just going all in. So we really worked on these songs, trying to make them as good as possible. But then they're not actually our songs.
It's interesting as a musician to play another musician, because that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, we're not here as Refuse, we're here as Samurai. And I'm here with Johnny Silverhand, you know, so it's like the voice we're representing here is someone else.
We'll never fade away!
It's been a mind fuck.
Okay, let's go back to the gameplay.
I mean, the shouting in itself is just like second nature to me, because I've been doing this for a very long time. But then when someone comes in and says,
I'm happy with everything except for Azalin. Again, it's Azza. Azza.
I think we had it earlier, but let's do one more.
Okay.
The shouting's great, but think of that accent, or think of that like enunciation. It's a bit weird because it's a very different way of singing when you're screaming like that, and it's hard to sort of
swallowing some syllables there.
Adjust your accent.
Oh yeah, just try it again.
So it's been a bit at times frustrating.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, we have to maintain the illusion that this character that's a character of the game also is me, like when I'm singing it. So it makes sense. But yeah, it's a bit different to have someone telling you exactly how to enunciate things, because I'm not used to, usually people are just like give me a thumbs up, and then like, you know, you think the things like the rhythm, and you think about the pitch, and you think about all these things, but then someone comes in and like, that word sounded weird. I'm like, what? No, that's how I sing. But so it's been a very, a bit painful at times, but it's all right.
Don't tell me like you'll have to have like song matches or something in the game, games count, instead of gunfight. Like, who can sing better?
It's a very interesting thing to be part of. As a person that's not a gamer, I don't think I fully understand the impact that this might have. If people like these songs and if people are excited, then that's going to be great. I mean, we are spending a lot of times trying to get this right, trying to get it to sound like, you know, like Samurai would sound, you know. So it's quite interesting. It's a very different way of making music, actually.
You can already find 3 Samurai tracks available on streaming services: Chippin' In, Never Fade Away, and The Ballad of Buck Ravers. But we're excited to announce a 4th new song called A Like Supreme, which is coming to streaming services today. That means you can check it out once the show is over. Don't forget that if you're tuning in late, or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channel soon. Next up, Pavel and I are going to introduce you to some creative ways that you can solve problems in Night City.
Now we're talking. Tools of construction.
AV, I have a job for you. A client of mine is making an arms deal. He needs protection. It could get hot, very hot. The gun dealers are Maelstrom. Alas, nothing ever transpires as planned with them. You better gear up for this.
That's a lot of customization. Damn. So many elements in this game. Oh boy. Not 3 kind of weapons, not 4. Goddamn, around 10. Wait, how many were there? 8. Whole lot. Jeez. Whoa! Oh, that was cool. KO. Melee weapon. Kinda like Skyrim there, eh? Oh! Oh! Limbs go. Old school. Punch it out.
So V, are you
keep going.
Willing?
Yeah, I'm in.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me. Now, there was an awful lot in that video, right? Because there's more than just guns.
Absolutely. We have
melee weapons, we have ranged weapons, we have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
I think just for today's episode we should keep it simple and let's just talk about guns. Can you tell us the different types of guns that will be in the game?
So we have 3 distinct types of guns in our game. We have power weapons, we have tech weapons, and we have smart weapons. Now, power weapons are the most similar to contemporary weapons.
Like any other
One
game.
thing they can do, which normal weapons cannot, is ricochet bullets off of surfaces. So you can hit somebody hiding behind cover or hiding behind a wall. Now, tech weapons, on the other hand, use electromagnetic power to propel a fully metal projectile to extreme velocities. What that allows them to do is to punch through cover or punch through walls to hit somebody who's not even aware that you're there. Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time. So you can hit somebody who's dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
Boy.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right? It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us how you guys approached introducing those RPG elements into gunplay?
So I can tell you one thing, Holly, it wasn't easy to merge those 2 elements together. Now, we've spent a considerable amount of time merging the RPG and FPP side of our game. What the player will experience is that V changes from a small-time mercenary to a legend in the world of Night City. V becomes more and more proficient in using weapons as the game progresses. So they will see that reload times become shorter, the accuracy of your weapons grows, you will have faster aiming time, you will move faster with your weapons. Everything becomes more in your control, and that gives you more opportunities to defeat the biggest encounters that we've designed for you.
That's kind of like...
So I have prepared a few extra questions for you, Pavel, if you're feeling up to it.
Of course.
Okay, well the first is going to be, how do you find more weapons in Night City? Like, where will players be looking for them?
So I expect the players to look everywhere for new and exciting weapons. You can of course buy weapons at vendor shops, and they will house an entire catalog of weaponry that you can get. However, the best weapons that you can find will be taken from enemies or loot caches that we have everywhere in Night City. The weapons rarities range from common through uncommon up to rare and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb in power. However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapons in the game. The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because maybe they need to choose whether to kill a person who holds the legendary weapons that they want, or to spare them because they like them as a character.
So next question, let's talk about weapon modifications. Whoa. What mods can people give to their weapons in Night City?
Will create
so we have 2 types of modifications in the game. One of them would be modifications that we call
a weapon and you don't kill the character,
these would be scopes and silencers, and you can see them actually being attached to your weapon as you're playing the game. They give you statistics advantage and they give you more opportunities in gameplay. The other part of mods would be software mods. Now these are basically small chips that you install in your weapon, and they actually change the statistics of the gun. They can give you damage, they can give you accuracy, or they can give you more fire rate. Some of those mods actually change the gunplay on a more fundamental level, so they can give you non-lethal rounds, biochemical rounds, to tear through that armor even faster.
So I suppose for my final question, why don't you tell us about your favorite weapon then? Which is your favorite weapon so far in Night City?
Oh, there are so many weapons that it's hard to choose just one, but I can mention some manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first manufacturer would be Tsunami Defense Systems, who produces the sniper rifle Nekomata. That's a tech sniper rifle. That means that it can pierce through walls, so you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind cover or who doesn't even know you're there. Of course, I also like a close quarters approach, and what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns that we have in the game is Budget Arms Carnage. Now that thing is cast from pure steel, and it weighs a ton. However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I would say, is a smart shotgun, Kang Tao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means it can track 8 targets independently. Now, killing an entire room was never simpler.
Very cyberpunk.
Pavel,
like,
thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Even like
I'm
Destiny
actually pretty
guns or
interested to
Call
see
of
what
Duty.
kind of weapons people
Maybe a bit
discover
Call
when
of
they
Duty, but
play
not-
Cyberpunk for themselves. Before we end episode 2,
Or you can say,
this
like,
is
the
a reminder
melange
that
of what
those who wish
Destiny
to
or
dive
Borderlands
deeper
and
into
Call of
lore
Duty, and then you
can
put it
now
all
pick
together.
up the world of Cyberpunk 2077. This is a brand new book created in collaboration with Dark Horse Books that will give you an extensive look at what makes Night City tick before jumping into the game this
I'm
November.
getting this.
That is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget that if you've
I'm
missed
definitely ordering
anything
that
or if you
book.
just
Oh
want to
my
watch
good.
again, we will
Just
be
for collector
uploading
edition's
everything
sake.
to our channels shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back with Night City Wire Episode 3 soon.
Please come back to me. Alright. Well, that was as usual, like the first one. That was a long video. So, a bit more to the game now. The life pad thing, finally, it's a great thing that they introduced that. They let us know there's going to be 3 branches. So, as I was saying before, it was never like clear, like they didn't say it outright. So I really do hope that it's not something like Resident Evil 2 remake where they change the game from the original. Like, if both the characters have the same path, just with different cutscenes and different elements, but it's the same thing. I would love that. Like, if let's say you play as Corpo, and yeah, you start at a different place, but you actually go through a whole different story. Yeah, you might come at you meet the same characters and so, but not in the same way though. Like different times and for different reasons. So I hope that it's like that. That it's not just like, oh, you go through the same thing. It's just that because of your different kind of a character that you chose, you just have different dialogues. It's not just different dialogues. It's a whole different story to it, or like the basic story probably will be the same. That's fine. I'm just saying the way you go and the way you progress through the story doesn't have to be the same path that you take. So, which I believe it is the way they're showing it. But let's see. So that's one thing. Plays great also on Xbox Series and X and a PS5. Okay, plays great. Yeah, there's this thing. Sorry, and I just read it on the end screen. It's written. It's very, I don't know, cringy. But anyway, so other than that, on top of what I just said, like it's just running in my mind. This game definitely will be cut down in terms of like obviously graphics, but in terms of how many people you see down the street, how many elements are in the world, whatever, lighting, or the graphical nature, or things, flowers. I don't know if there will be flowers, but like the desert, how detailed everything would be for the current consoles. It's for PC, it's a different thing, right? Like people with like amazing PCs will be able to play it with definitely like high-end stuff. Even then, this game looks like there's a lot to it. But for current consoles, I just hope that when it comes to like PS5 or on PC or the the Xbox Series X, it's not just like, oh, a bit better graphics, and so like I would want more people on the street, more things going on, and feels like more like liveliness to the city. I would want that. So hopefully they don't cut down on everything for just because they want to release it on the current gen consoles, and for the next one is just a bit of an upgrade but not an actual upgrade. So let's see on that. That's something like they can't, nobody knows, right? Because the next gen consoles are not here yet. So let's see. So that is something I can't wait. Good thing is, from what I've heard, that this game is gonna, I think they even announced it not 100% sure of it, but the good thing is that most of the companies are allowing for a free upgrade. So if you get it on the current gen, you'll be able to upgrade right away. Hopefully take your save file with you, because if you're like halfway through the game and the next gen console is in your hand, you don't want to start over again. So hopefully you can take your save file with you. And I understand, like, if you're PS4 to PS5, not saying PS4 to Xbox or something like, or Xbox to PS, whatever, but like if they don't want to do that, that's a whole different conversation. But at least for the same the group of consoles, so if you're going from PS4 to PS5, they will let you do that. So hopefully that's that, because this game, for many people, they will do it all 3 times, right? There's going to be so much you want to collect in terms of collecting. If you want to unlock like all kinds of elements, especially like from the first episode, there are moments where you do detective kind of work. You go and see the crime scenes in different ways, and so there are just a lot of elements to this that very interesting. Yeah, sometimes, again, not hating, but what I see, I say. So times it does feel like some elements of the game are very like taken from different things, like especially with the guns. Oh, this is common or uncommon or rare. It's been done. So the game really will be about like how this cyberpunk world will all the different elements will come together, and how will they be able to present it, or the game to present to us as like the gamers, with the feelings and like the cyberpunk feel, that world that you always wanted to play in, right? Like you watch, let's say anybody watch Akira or Ghost in the Shell or any kind of sci-fi, Blade Runner, or Tron even. Like, I know Tron is different, but you know, like the idea that you want to be there and there's all this computeristic, with all these upgrades to yourself, and you want to play as these characters. That's something very intriguing, and a lot of people like that, including me. One of my favorite worlds was, or stories, is Ghost in the Shell. Matrix is another one, right? So let's see what elements they can bring from all these different classics and maybe add to this game. Let's see, there's a lot of opportunity there. So let's see what they can do with the story and how intriguing the story can get. So yeah, with that, hopefully y'all liked my reaction. I want to say thank you for watching, and I will catch you all soon. Take care.